Hi everybody, we are going to get started on our January Club Q kits. And before we get started, I'm going to point out a couple of things here. The Powder Puff chalking inks that we suggest are Navy, Lovely Lilac, and Huckleberry. But if there is a color that you like out of your stash that is not on there, you go ahead and grab it. Some of the grays, or maybe like coal miner or feather gray, some of those would look really nice with it too. We also have things like sugar plum, which was a little brighter than a regular purple. Anyway, you use what works for you. To get started, we are going to punch out the die cuts, and then we are going to do any of the cutting that needs to be done. This kit is really pretty simple, so there's not a lot of cutting. We are going to cut these two, they're like 3 1/4 by 9, I think. 3 1/4 by 9 3/4. So there's 2 of those. We're going to cut those. Other than that, most things are cut for you in this kit. We will get started with that, but first of all, I want to show you a couple things. As you're cutting out your die cuts, there is, let's see, it's not this one. There is some of the negatives that we will be using. So when you punch out these tags and frames and stuff out of the middle, we are going to use this outside piece. This is going to go over it so you can kind of see that it leaves this purple frame around there. So a lot of the negatives in this one we are going to use. So don't throw anything away so that you have to go fishing through the garbage. We are going to use a lot of the negatives in this one. So go ahead and start punching out your die cuts. And what I do is I punch them out and I kind of put them in a pile according to color. So I'm going to set this to the side. I'm going to get the samples out of here. And I'm going to move in my trimmer so that we can get any of the trimming out of the way first. So we also, these pieces here that we're going to use, they actually get punched out of the center of these blue pieces. We're going to use this inside piece. We're also going to use the outside piece. So if you do have a tab at the bottom here, you want to go ahead and cut that off. I forgot to cut it off before I punch things out, but I'm going to put it in here and trim the tab off the bottom there. And then we are going to use this outside piece for our backgrounds. So really the only cutting I think that we have to do in this one is these 2 pieces of white paper. We are going to cut them at 3 1/4. So they're already 3 1/4 wide. We are going to, and I'm going to do them both at the same time. If you want to do them singly, that's fine. And if I get ahead of you, you just go ahead and push pause and start it back up whenever you're ready. We're going to put it into 3 1/4 and trim. I'm going to move it out of the way here and then go to 3 1/4 again and trim. So we end up having 6 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 pieces, just like that. Okay, and I think that is all the cutting for this one. Sometimes we have a few cutting diagrams in there, but this one's really pretty simple to put together. So your background is going to start with these 2 pieces that have the center cut out. Make sure you can see this in your, it's pretty close to being able to see both pieces there. And then there is a purple piece that goes on each of them. So what you want to do is just put a little bit of adhesive right around this square. And then the purple piece will go on and get centered. The other one is the same, so a little adhesive around this square that's punched out, and a purple piece will get centered there. So it's about, I think it's about 3/4 of an inch all the way around. Okay, now the pieces that we punched out of the background stripe is actually going to get flipped over, and it's going to go in the center of the purple. So when you go to glue this down, you want to make sure that you are only putting adhesive around this outside edge. When you turn it over, you don't want glue sticking where there's no paper, so just around the outside edge. And then centered there. And as I go along, you feel free to chalk up any of the pieces that you would like. I actually have some of our older colors here that I'm going to use. I have Purple Passion and Blue Hawaiian. So you choose what you want to use. I will chalk, actually I think I'm going to chalk the outside of this with Purple Passion. So you just decide what pieces you want to chalk and what pieces you want to just kind of leave plain. I'm going to do this one with Purple Passion. Just add a little extra purple to it. Kind of depends on whether you like the blues or the purples. I'll do this one in blue. You probably won't do different colors on these, but I just kind of wanted to show you what it looked like here. This one is a Blue Hawaiian. I love this color. It's nice and bright. There's also, for more of a dark blue, there's navy, there's deep sea, which is kind of like a royal blue. There's Caribbean blue, which is more like, or a sky blue. You just choose what works for you. I think on the actual sheet we suggested navy. But lots of different colors that you can choose from. So you do what works for you. Okay, so we have our background piece. The only other piece that actually needs cut, which I didn't do, is we need to cut out these little quotes here. And I'm going to bring my trimmer back in. You can use just scissors if you want to. I'm going to bring my trimmer back in and just do that really quickly. Cut those out there. Sorry, the train is going by. I'm at my house videoing this time, and I know that all of you know that at our warehouse, we are very close to the train. So at our live events, we give away lots of train prizes each time the train goes by. So join us for one of our live events on Facebook sometime. We give away lots of prizes when the train goes by. But here, we don't even live close to the train, and you can still hear it in the distance. Oops. So if you can hear it on the video, I'm sorry. Trim this out. And one last cut here. Okay, so I'm going to get this back out of the way. If you want to just trim that with scissors, you can. Line this back up. Okay. Once you have those done, you can chalk those up if you want. I'm going to use this Blue Hawaiian. I just really like the turquoise color, so I'm bringing that in a little bit. This one I will use, actually I'm going to use Sugar Plum on this one. You probably won't mix up the colors this much to using 3 or 4 different colors, but I really like this Sugar Plum too. It has a little bit of a kind of fuchsia look to it, but still pretty purple. Okay, and in your packet, we already have pre-cut for you 2, they're about 5 by 7 white pieces, and we have a 4.5 by 6.5 dot. Those will get glued down together. Again, if you want to chalk it up, you go right ahead. Actually, I will chalk these up just a little bit so you can see what it looks like on the dotted paper. And then these can get glued together. And I am just going to kind of place things where I want them before I go back and glue everything down. Totally up to you. If you want to glue as you go right ahead. You have 6, and then there's also a separate one that was already pre-cut for you in your kit. So you should have 7. And these you will want to, before you glue your frame down, you can either just barely tack your frame down with just a little bit of adhesive here, or you can get your pictures out and get your pictures in there. And what I do to put my frame on my picture, I lay this on my picture, I trace around the outside, and then I trim it. Once you get your picture in, before you glue this one down, and this is why I put things kind of in place before I glue things down. Before you glue this one down, we are actually going to put a little tag up here at the top. So you have 2 blue tags, and you have a little bag of embellishments here. So on your tags, on your blue tags, we do the purple brads. You have 2 purple, 2 blue. We're going to use, 3 purple, 2 blue. Put a purple one through. And then this tag is just kind of for decoration, or you can write a date on here. You can do put a little piece of white paper or something, do a little journaling if you want to. So you have the smaller blue tag up here. The larger blue tag goes down here. I love this kit because it's just really simple to put together, but it comes with lots of space for photos. This gets tucked in here. And this can be just a little decoration like that. You can pull it out, maybe put a little writing on it, maybe even a little picture. Okay, and then over here we have our "having fun is kind of our thing" quote. This is going to go right down here, but before you put it down, you'll want to only put glue right on the bottom piece, because this is going to be a pocket for some tags. And it's going to go really close to the edge here, and then the adhesive just goes along the back side of this, just along the bottom, and then you can tuck your tags in. You have 3 light purple tags, which I'm going to chalk up a little bit with our sugar plum. This one's a little bit bright. So what I'm going to do is take the Purple Passion and go over it just a little bit so it's not so bright. I love that color of purple. You can see a little bit of the bright in the back. These get brads in them. So the small one gets a purple brad, smallest one. That goes right in the middle. And again, you can do some writing on these, like some dates or some, just a few important little things about the photos that you're adding. Or you can put other little embellishments on here. You can put smaller photos, some faces on there. Lots of different options for this. So these just tuck right in. And if you choose to, you can use the other side of this too. The other side is just the solid purple. I kind of like this lighter purple on it. And then we have a little arrow that can get glued together. And I need to remember I don't have any with me right now, but we have some glue that's on our website now, and it is called Barely Glue or something like that, but it's a very fine tip, and I love that kind of glue because it's really great for these more intricate die cuts. You just need a few dots here and there, but it's a very precision tip. It's wonderful glue, and it's super tacky, so once you get it on there, it's on there for good. I will remember to bring some with me the next time and show you. Okay, so you got your arrow on, and the rest is just... Oh, you know what? I forgot a layer on the arrow. So once you get the white onto the blue, there's also another white that goes behind that, which is kind of nice. It makes it stand out a little more. And then over here, we just have 4 more photos. This one goes kind of right to the top and maybe a 1/4 of an inch from the right side. These all get kind of overlapped. But you do what you need to do. If you have pictures where you want to see more of the pictures, you don't want them to overlap, you can spread these out a little bit and just do 3 photos if you want to. We have 4 in there because I just like to squeeze as many as I can onto a page, but it's totally up to you. You can spread them out a little further if you want to. And again, you trace around this onto your photo, cut out your photo, get the frame onto your photo, and then it glues right onto the backer there. One thing I love about this kit too is that it shows how you can save some of your paper by cutting out the center of the background and using the center for something else too. I like to conserve paper and use as much of it as we can. So that's a fun little technique. Just cut out the center. Use that for tags and photo mats. And there you have it. Super simple kit. But this one holds a ton of photos. I think it holds 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, at least 9 photos. And you have these pieces left over that you can use maybe with the stuff in your paper pack that comes with your Club Q. You can make a whole other page to match this with some of the leftover pieces. So I hope you enjoyed that kit. Love this one. You can fit lots of photos on there. And we appreciate you being a Club Q member, and we will see you next time.